time to abandon the UN? For decades, the United Nations has claimed to stand for peace, justice, and multilateralism. But recent history paints a very different picture. One of selective enforcement, double standards, and an international system held hostage by a handful of powerful states. At the center of this hypocrisy are the United States and Israel, who routinely trample the very principles the UN was created to protect. Double standards that undermine the UN. Consider some of the most blatant examples of US and Israeli defiance of international law. The US ignored the International Court of Justice when it condemned its illegal support of Contra rebels in Nicaragua in 1986, and then brushed off the General Assembly's call for reparations. It bypassed the Security Council to invade Iraq in 2003 without UN authorization, devastating an entire region based on false pretenses. Israel continues to violate dozens of UN resolutions, from Resolution 242 on withdrawal from occupied Palestinian territories to Resolution 497 on the illegal annexation of the Golan Heights, knowing full well that America's veto will block any action against it. Meanwhile, the US supports these breaches by wielding its veto like a shield, ensuring that accountability at the UN is impossible. What kind of international order is that? Why the UN has become irrelevant? The UN was designed as a forum where all nations, big or small, could resolve conflicts fairly. But as long as a small club of powerful states can do whatever they want without consequences, the UN will remain a hollow institution. Its toothless resolutions, ignored by the powerful and manipulated for political ends, make a mockery of its ideals. And for smaller or non-aligned countries, waiting for justice through this broken system is a losing game. BRICS, a growing alternative. As the UN stagnates, countries are looking elsewhere for partnerships built on mutual respect and economic opportunity, especially BRICS, Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, and recently expanded to include others. BRICS stands for multipolarity, creating a more balanced world order. Sovereignty and cooperation, mutual respect without interference in domestic affairs. Development, trade, infrastructure, investment, and technology sharing. More and more states, including those in Africa, Latin America, and the Middle East, see BRICS as a credible alternative to an international system that no longer works. Is withdrawal from the UN the next step? Some argue that reforming the UN is impossible as long as the most powerful members have their hands on the levers of decision-making. In that light, withdrawing from the UN entirely could send a powerful signal that the era of selective justice is over. Imagine a coalition of countries, tired of US and Israeli double standards, breaking away and forging new alliances with BRICS, pursuing real economic partnerships and fair diplomacy. Of course, leaving the UN is not without risks. Countries must weigh the diplomatic and legal consequences. But for those fed up with empty resolutions and broken promises, BRICS could offer a path toward a more genuinely equal and multipolar world order. The choice ahead. The world is at a crossroads. Nations must decide whether to remain part of an institution that tolerates double standards and rewards the powerful, or to explore new, fairer alliances that better reflect their own interests. If the UN cannot reform itself, then the question is no longer whether countries will leave, it is when and what new structures they will build in its place. One thing is clear, the old order is crumbling. Whether under BRICS or some other banner, the Global South and all who believe in true international law and equity will chart their own course.